high are your expectations of the Biden
Pleasure.
presidency when it comes to climate?
Well, we lost 4 years in the U.S. under the Trump administration. That the U.S. was practically absent from the fight against climate change. Before that, let's have in mind 8 years of the George W. Bush era, where the U.S. as well was more or less absent in the fight against climate change. So we have to hurry up. There is high pressure, high expectations. It's clear Europe has taken the lead in between. But we also know we're not strong enough to do that alone.
What are the specific areas of cooperation that you would like to see the US administration join with Europe in efforting? I know that they've said, I know that President-elect Biden has said he'll go back into the Paris Accord, for example, but what else do you want to see?
Well, that's the most important step, to go back to the Paris Accords, and then the next step would be that we have joint goals. If the U.S. is taking the lead again on renewables, on decarbonization of transport, and Europe is joining that together, we already started that, we can make a difference. Imagine that the U.S. together with Europe goes to China and says, we might disagree on so many issues like human rights, like Hong Kong and other issues, but on the fight against climate change, we want you to join that fight. We want you together, that we create a force on this planet of those nations who believe there is climate change and we have to do something because we owe this to our children.
We've seen tension, of course, across the Atlantic on a number of fronts over the past 4 years, Chairman. One of those has been around Nord Stream 2. You've criticised Nord Stream 2. President-elect Biden criticised it, years ago. What policy stance would you expect him to take on this particular part of the European energy mix?
Well, the standpoint of my party, of the Green Party, is we want to be energy independent. That includes countries like Russia that are, to us, not reliable partners. Russia has clear intentions to destabilize the European Union, to make us dependent from him. We don't want that. And by the way, this is not a renewable energy source. So therefore, it's clear we would love to stop Nord Stream 2. Together with the US, we completely agree there. The question is whether it's too late when we enter power, hopefully next year.
Right, and what about the sanctions that the US currently has in place in relation to Nord Stream 2? Would you like to see movement there?
Well, let's face it, we were not in one house or even a family with the Trump administration. When Biden-Harris is the next U.S. administration, we're friends, we're family again. Family of those nations that believe in liberal democracies, the rule of law and everything. So therefore, sanctions should not be on the forefront. We should sit together, settle our problems, and then agree together joint. Because let's not forget, there are not that many partners in the world who believe in rule of law, in democracy and everything. So therefore, we should target others who think that climate change is not existing or that they should not do anything. We should target those who believe that liberal democracy is something to attack. So the enemy is neither in the US nor it is in Europe. The enemy, if we might use that word, is elsewhere.
Chen, just briefly, do you see opportunity for European business now, given the pivot in policy in the US?
Well, I mean, not all companies obviously are in favor of Nord Stream 2, only those who are directly involved and have a lot of money to earn. So therefore, it's clear this is not about European economy. This is about Mr. Putin, his aspirations. We have good reasons why we're still against that project. But let me remind you again, there is a decision taken by a legal parliament. The process is ongoing. We're in opposition. Okay. We're currently not in the national government. So it's a process of democracy.